Words about books, Ben.
It's words about books, Nate.
It's Nate's Nightmare November, Ben.
Nate reads biographies about terrible people.
Hey, I'm reading about Mick Foley. He's a pretty solid guy.
He's the guy that wore a leather belt on his face, right?
Essentially, yeah. He fell off the Hell in a Cell.
That begins and ends what I know about Mick Foley.
He's a pretty solid guy.
End of episode. Nate's Nightmare
Done.
November.
Done.
That was a quick one. Thank God. All right. Play the music.
Speaking of the music, Ben, do you hear that? Do you hear that music?
No, but that's because it's in post.
Because it's in post, Ben. Did you know Hulk Hogan has a second book?
Are you serious?
So I read Hollywood Hulk Hogan that came out 2 years prior to My Life Outside the Ring, Ben.
You got me this time. You got me this time. So everything was a lie. Everything on all of our documents, the Patreon polls, everything was a lie. Nobody was in on this except you, because people have been wondering where the hell Donkey Kong is.
Oh, I've got Donkey Kong. I read Donkey Kong, Ben.
Okay. Oh God. All right. So
we
what's
might
this?
eventually
What's
need
this
to
one
record
about?
video, so we can get your reactions, Ben, to my antics.
What?
Video. Someday
What?
we gotta do that.
I'm not recording video right now.
Yeah, I know.
It would have been very suspicious if you told me to record video. He told me we were talking about a different wrestler, but it's Hulk Hogan again. He goes, oh, do you hear the music? And I'm like, no, because you're going to add it in post. He's like, well, Hulk Hogan has a second book. And I was like,
what is this, Nate's month of Hulk Hogan?
It's Nate's Nightmare November. So yeah, kind of, I guess. I don't know how many books Hulk Hogan has written. I don't know how many years he can keep this up. But
unfortunately, he only has the 2 as far as I'm aware.
Well, you burned all your material. Okay.
Worth, Ben.
So what is this one about? The WCW years?
This is about his wrestling time. This one came out.
Oh,
in
so that was his
2003.
life outside the ring, and now I get to hear about his life inside the ring.
Yes. You get the complete Hulk Hogan experience, Ben.
Shy was bent over in the middle of the living room cackling at my reaction to this. I'm only writing one blog post about Hulk Hogan. I have to write the next one.
Ben, you can be the Babe Ruth of wrestling and still have something to prove.
What?
Ben,
right. What did he do?
He's writing about his match with The Rock and how that's going to rekindle his career, or it's going to be the final nail in the coffin in 2002
Wasn't he
at WrestleMania.
50 at that point?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, his career's coming all the way back. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and he's wondering, Ben, where it all went wrong.
You're 50.
He's going to talk about his rise and then his fall and then perhaps his rise again, brother. And this book, brother, is written as though Hulk Hogan is telling it to you right into the microphone, dude. Let me tell you something, brother.
Who wrote it for him?
He's the only author on this.
Yeah, so it was Donald Trump.
Are you telling me Donald Trump didn't write those books?
I'm telling you, they interviewed the guy who did.
Shit. Maybe he wrote this book too.
I did find out that the guy who co-wrote the last one, Hulk Hogan, was his first book that he'd ever written. He was a newspaper guy before that, and
Oh, wow.
it launched his career writing biographies for C-list celebrities. He did one for some guy from HGTV. He did one from a random lady who was on The Bachelor and then The Bachelorette. He did one for like a congresswoman no one cares about.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, so
That's what Hulk Hogan does. He launches careers, dude.
Yeah, I mean, technically he did, yeah.
So he talks about. I'll skip a lot of the overlap, brother. But
Okay,
this is
dude.
about his rise and then fall and then perhaps rise again, dude. He mentions his mom and
You're
dad
50.
meeting in the
You've been
Panama Canal Zone, brother.
What? Okay, you're
His
50.
mom and dad met there.
You're 50. You're in a what is ostensibly a professional sport. You've been at the top for decades.
But what if I'm at the top for another decade, dude?
Why would you
what
think
if
that's
I'm
a good idea?
still the top guy, brother? What if we just take Hulkamania and have it run wild all the way into 2020, dude?
Okay, your audience is primarily children buying action figures and video games. You really think kids are going to still, like a 14-year-old kid,
take your vitamins, train, say your prayers, and believe in yourself, dude?
You really think they're going to idolize like a wrestler who's like 55? That you really think it's going to remain believable that you keep beating up?
Do you see these pythons, Jack?
I do, and they're looking a little sad. They're looking a little sad that they got to be out and working the streets at this age.
It's because my wife, who I won't be talking about much in this book because I saved all that material for the next book because I'm still married to her during this period of time, dude.
Boy, those last two wives really did just like squeak in at the finish line, didn't they?
He started dating his other wife towards the end of the last book, Ben. I just didn't mention her because I didn't care.
I'm sure she thanks you for that.
So, Panama Canal Zone. His dad, Pete Belay, is a pipe fitter, and he lays some pipe, dude. And that's how we get the Hulkster. And also his brother, Alan, brother. And
I don't know why my glasses are on for this.
I thought I was going crazy, Ben. But I had to look back at his other book. His brother's name is spelled differently. There are two L's in Alan in this book and one L in Alan in his next book.
Maybe Hulk really did write this one.
Maybe he forgot how to spell his brother's name and he's hedging his bets.
He just never read the proofs. The guy just
well, he did teach himself to read.
Not many people out there. Now, not many people out there understand that pictures can also be sounds, brother. But the Hulkster, he pieced it together.
So he talks about playing stickball and corkball, Ben. This is real. Stickball's real, dude. He talks about shoving rocks in his nose, brother.
I believe this.
He talks about winning the Florida State Doubles Bowling Championship 5 years in a row, Jack, which only happened one time, brother.
I told you, even if it did happen 5 times, I couldn't care less.
He talks about Little League and how he threw his arm out of his arm, dude.
I thought he did that in high school.
Yeah, that was in Little League. He threw his arm out of his arm while throwing a ball.
I thought he was too fat to play.
No, if he hit a home run, he wins. If he doesn't, he's too fat to run.
Oh, they have him in the infield?
He's at third base. And he got the ball, and he threw his arm like Deku from My Hero Academia. He threw the ball so hard he broke a bone in his arm, and he couldn't do Little League after that, Jack.
He didn't break a bone. He might have hyperextended his elbow or something.
No, he broke a bone, brother. He knew that he fucked it up as soon as he threw that ball with the force of the Hulkamaniacs.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've been down this road. We don't need to go down it again.
Now he's talking about how he actually has been watching wrestling the entire time and he loved wrestling and he got into guitar and music not as an escape or anything, but because he went to a youth ranch and he learned that if he believed in Jesus, he could live forever, dude.
I'm sorry, a youth ranch? Isn't that what
Yes,
Jeffrey
he
Epstein
started-
was doing?
He started playing gospel songs, brother.
Oh, this is like a Bible camp.
Yeah, it
Why
was
would you-
inevitable. I'd turn into a pretty decent musician. Inevitable, Ben. Because of all those
decent
gospel songs.
Musician and a
He
Christian.
doesn't even mention the fact that he was playing bass, because he's just a guitar player now.
Bass is less impressive.
And he made so much money,
Unless you're
Jack.
like Victor Wooten.
He says that he was the only person at Robinson High School who had a brand new car of his own, dude.
The
But
hell cares?
remember, Ben, money didn't change him. He's always been this way. So he was right.
I believe he's always been this way and that money didn't change him.
He actually got 2 brand new cars, but he doesn't have a girlfriend. You gotta face facts, Jack. If you don't have a girlfriend, but you have 2 brand new cars, there's something wrong with you. He assumed it was his weight, not his personality.
I don't know about that. I had no cars and a girlfriend when I was in high school.
He says he went to junior college, and he did get a degree, which is not what he said in the other book, Ben.
What's his degree in?
I think it was just an associate's degree in like general or business.
It's possible, I guess.
And he didn't want to live a dock worker's life, brother. So his old babysitter that he had hooked him up at a job at a bank, and he realized that wrestlers were making more money than he did in like 10 seconds of work than he made in an entire pay period, dude.
That doesn't
Or
sound
even a
right.
year, brother.
That sounds very wrong. You're telling me what year is this?
The 70s, Jack.
You're telling me in the 70s, like just a jobber wrestler in Florida.
No, the stars, dude. Dusty Rhodes, brother.
Yeah, no shit. Dusty Rhodes is making more than you.
Hulk Hogan isn't going to be a jobber. Hulk Hogan's going to the top, dude.
I mean, he did, so I guess I can't fault him there. But
So
but no,
he started going to
a
the
dock worker
Imperial.
does all right. How did he get a new car in high school if he's broke?
He was playing guitar at gigs, brother.
Oh, he paid for his new car, 2 new cars with guitar.
2 new
gear.
cars. It went from 1 to 2 in the
With-
span of a few paragraphs, Ben.
So they're not like new cars?
No, he said new cars.
Not new to him. New.
New. Well, you never know with Hulk Hogan, because he also said he didn't do steroids, and then he was like, well, I mean, I wasn't doing steroids at the moment I was saying that.
Hulk, are you being honest but not truthful?
Honest but not truthful. Who knows if those new cars were new or if they were used but new to him.
Okay. So Hulk, he's fat, he's loud, he's rolling into school with his Ford POS,
And he
and
knows that wrestlers make bank, Jack.
the ladies just aren't
Yeah, they're not
jumping
they're not
to top him.
flocking to the Hulkster. And it's probably because he's fat and not
I'm
because
going to
of
tell you
personality,
something.
dude.
I'm going to tell you something honest. If you play guitar passably well and you're actually doing gigs and making money at it and you don't have a girlfriend, that is far harder to believe than the car. Because maybe in the 70s girls gave a shit about cars. In the modern era, girls have cars. Like they just have their own cars now. So but guitar players still, like, that's an interesting activity. You look good doing it. You know, you're on stage. And even if you're like, look at Mick Jagger, look at Keith Richards. These are ugly men, but they did quite well. Oh, who's the guy from Aerosmith? Big lips. Why am I blanking? Steven
Big
Tyler.
lips.
Steven Tyler. Father of Arwen. Oh, he is hideous. And he's the father of Arwen.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're
Well,
if
it's
you,
because he was fat, Ben. That's it. That's the
no,
reason.
who's that? Didn't your ex like that Patrick Stump from Fallout Boy?
Yeah.
He was fat and ugly too.
She wouldn't say so, but also like
No, didn't he wear like one of those like patty hats or something?
he does.
He's awful. Like he's
Yeah,
hideous.
yeah. I was gonna say he is very not attractive.
No, I've never heard of anyone liking Patrick Stump except your ex. But that just goes to prove like somebody like someone, probably not necessarily the person you might want to spend the rest of your life with, but someone finds attention attractive. Like women like a guy with a skill. If you could play guitar, if you could paint, if you could do something that makes you interesting.
What
And
about
I got,
wrestling?
yeah, you should try. I'd have stuck with guitar. I'd have stuck with guitar myself.
Well, remember, wrestlers started showing up to venues he was playing, and he decided to start going to following them to the Imperial Room where they went after they wrestled, and then he decided he wanted to be a wrestler, and Hiro Matsuda broke his leg. So here's an interesting thing that is completely incompatible with the story he told us last time. He's getting ready for his first match ever, and Eddie Graham takes him aside and was like, "Hey, you know all those holds we told you? You know how we've been kicking your ass for the last 3 months? Don't actually use those. Wrestling is scripted. It's fake. You're not supposed to actually hurt each other. You're supposed to work together to put on a show." So Hulk Hogan, in his second book, the one we reviewed last time, said he saw Bob Orton whisper something in his opponent, and he was like, "Oh, wrestling is all fake. I could do that." In this book, he is saying he trained to legitimately wrestle for months and got his ass kicked for months. And finally, when he was getting ready for his first match, they pulled him aside and said, "It's all fake. We've been kicking your ass for months. Don't do what we showed you. Don't actually hurt your opponent."
I just thought of another blog post I can write. I'll do another one. I think this time we're going to talk about Aristotelian virtue and how like life writing, the accounts of great men, we look at them as exemplars of virtue. Like we learn how to be virtuous ourselves by looking at the stories of the virtuous.
Yeah.
Or in Hulk Hogan's case, the opposite.
He's a virtuous man, brother. He's extolling Jesus-like virtues, Ben.
Yeah.
He will say later in the book, he filled the arena with 94,000. Pope only got 80,000.
That's not Catholic. Don't give a shit about the Pope. Not a comparison I'd make. Okay.
But don't worry, brother, because I was extolling the virtues of Jesus, so they got their fill if they saw me, dude.
Did he really say that?
He said that!
Hulk Hogan was extolling the virtues of Jesus?
Yeah. Training,
Ooh.
saying your prayers, and taking your vitamins, Ben.
Training. Yeah, no, Jesus was ripped.
So he doesn't mention Pat Patterson, probably because Pat Patterson was working in the WWE and this was a WWE produced book. So it would be really bad if Hulk Hogan told a story about how Pat Patterson threatened to have a whole bunch of people fuck him in the ass if Hogan didn't him. So we're just moving on.
I
He
mean,
doesn't mention steroid use or cocaine use or weed use. And he quit to go work with Whitey, remember?
well, that's because that all happened outside the ring.
Yeah, there you go.
This is inside the ring.
He brings up his shitty carny talk. That's the thing I shared with you.
Oh, that was like oh, what did he say?
If there's a girl with big boobs and you want to talk about her big boobs in front of her, but you don't want her to know you're talking about her big boobs, even though it is so patently obvious that that's what you're talking about. You're just adding extra Z's and shit.
No, you got to understand the accent. It's Yazoo. See that gazerl that's got the bazoobs.
That just sounds like what I expected to be.
Yeah, but she's not going to know because she's not paying attention to you because you're a carny.
Because that is true. That is true. More people should just ignore carnies. Yeah,
I find it. I've never seen one.
Well, that's because they start dying out. It is
Did
weird
they?
that.
What if they're all around us and I just can't see them?
Oh my god, maybe that's. And you can't hear them either because they're speaking that special carny talk. Oh my god.
And yeah, it's very much where Tolkien got the idea for elves. They speak a strange language and then they fade as the age of men comes up.
Oh my god.
I'm trying so hard to pretend I'm listening to a different story right now.
Oh god. All right, so he mentions telling Billy Graham that he's bigger than he is, brother. Then he goes to Alabama. Skip forward, Lou Ferrigno, Memphis. This is all in the other book. Going back to work on the docks. And then Terry Funk. Not the Briscoes or whoever was in the other book, but Terry Funk is like, hey, Vince McMahon Sr. wants to see you. He's got a job for you. So then he talks about his WWF career. Getting into Rocky 3. He talks about Vince McMahon Sr. just pissing blood. Oh, wait, no, that comes up in a moment. He talks about he came up from Florida. He got pulled over by a cop for having suspicious tags because they were like Memphis tags. Then the cop was like, hey, I need your license and registration. He's like, no problem, officer. Reached into the glove box to get his registration. There's a gun in there. So the cops arrest him. And the Wild Samoans who were with him in the car, they're not supposed to be able to talk, so they didn't say anything. It turns out it's a 1-year mandatory prison sentence if you're caught with an unregistered firearm in New York.
Oh, it was unregistered.
Yeah, it was unregistered.
Why does the Hulkster have an unregistered firearm?
Well, he bought it in Florida, where you could just get unregistered firearms like off the street.
Yeah, but why didn't he buy it at a gun shop?
Because, look, Hogan doesn't say why. Other than the boys told him he needed a gun to protect himself, brother.
And he couldn't go to a gun shop.
No, dude. Who goes to a gun shop to get a gun,
Jesus.
brother?
That sounds like something Jesus would do.
Well, did Jesus take his vitamins, brother? Did Jesus believe in himself, dude?
Fasted for 40 days or something.
Well, luckily, Hogan had... he could call Gorilla Monsoon, who could call in favors and get Hogan off the hook. So
what is a Gorilla Monsoon?
That's his name. Gorilla Monsoon. He was a super popular wrestler in like the 70s, and he was working all the way up until his death in the 90s.
And he could call in favors with the police.
Or Vince McMahon Sr. could. But Hogan called Gorilla, and then something happened. Hogan got released. Love the two-tier justice system, brother.
If you believe any of this.
But it's Hulk Hogan.
Well, but sometimes he's honest but not truthful.
and sometimes he's truthful but not honest, brother.
Yeah. I mean, you got to catch him when he's both. Otherwise, it may seem like he's lying to you. It's not what's happening. He's just being honest but not truthful, or truthful but not honest. But it's that it's that Boolean logic there.
Well, Hulk Hogan, he was being brought in as a villain, and he was being built up to face Andre at Shea Stadium. And things were so intense. He was so hated that fans would destroy his shit, brother.
Like
and then,
what?
like his car, he'd come out and his tires would be slashed every single night, dude.
How do they know which one was your car?
Maybe he drove up in that car in front of a throng of fans, brother.
Get a ride with somebody.
Maybe he shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't they have like a van to take you guys in?
Then he goes over to Japan, where he doesn't say it in this book, but I'm pretty sure he says that wrestling was real in Japan. Yeah.
No.
He goes in there. He's going to face off against Ricky Choshu. And it's supposed to go to a draw. And his manager, Freddie Blassie, is like, not kick his ass. And Hulk's like, but he's an Olympic wrestler, coach. He's like, I don't care. Kick his ass. So Hogan came off the ropes, hit Ricky so hard, he never recovered. And he pinned him in seconds, Ben. And it's not in this book, Ben, but he tells a story in interviews how he legitimately killed Antonio Inoki for like 15 seconds in the ring. He was legally dead, or maybe it was a few minutes, and he killed him. He killed him, brother, and he had to flee the country because the Yakuza were after him, dude.
Why not the police?
Because wrestling was real in Japan, brother. What he did wasn't illegal.
So first off, if you've never seen Japanese professional wrestling, look it up. It's amazing. It's obviously fake.
No, it was real in the 80s,
way
dude.
obviously fake.
It was real. You wrestle in America, and it's all scripted. You go to Japan, you're fighting for your life, Jack.
No, you just couldn't understand the script because it was in Japanese. So did any of this actually happen? Did he actually? I mean, I think we would know if he beat the crap out of this guy, right?
If he legitimately beat the shit out of these people, he wouldn't be invited back.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Like if you flee Japan, first off, they have extradition. Second, you can't go back to Japan then.
Yeah, and Antonio Inoki was like the father of Japanese wrestling. He was like their Hulk Hogan.
Oh, so that's what this is about. This is another like Andre the Giant thing where he's obsessed with a guy and he decides to lie about it.
He legitimately kicked his ass so hard that he died. He was legally dead for a few minutes.
Why is it so desirable for you to have killed people? And
I need to know what it feels like.
Is
Jack.
it connected?
I need to feel a man's life force draining through my fingers, dude.
Okay, see, that's why you don't have a girlfriend. Statements like that are going to hurt you with the ladies. But second, is it in any way connected to why you owned an unregistered firearm? Does the Hulkster maybe have a bit of an inferiority complex? And does the Hulkster maybe need to believe
himself?
He is capable of killing large men?
He did a move where he could bear hug 2 men at once, brother.
I don't know if I'd brag about that, but
that's what got him noticed and got him into Rocky 3, dude.
Okay, I didn't know about that. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't seen Rocky 3, but I didn't know it went in that direction. It's a bold choice for Stallone, and I respect it. I'm going to be honest with you. I respect it.
So he said he was going to cut a record album with a band called Pink Cloud. And I looked this up, and Google says this was a joke he made on Facebook, but he is legitimately saying it in this book, that he was going to cut a record.
Okay. Is that, like, did he not already have one as a guy who played in bands that made a lot of money?
No, of course not. They didn't make it big because it was wrestling career.
You don't have to make it big to have a record. You just have to be able to afford studio
Well, he
time.
does eventually do a record, Ben, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Well, yeah, because you just have to be able to afford
Another
studio
little
time.
Hulkster in Heaven, or whatever the fuck it was called. That hit song that everyone knows. Jack. From that story he made up about that kid who died while waiting for him to go on to wrestle in Wembley Stadium, dude.
You got a weird relationship with death. I don't know what's going on here, but there's something Shakespearean about this.
Hulk Hogan has Hamlet. I saw that in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting there like yeah, Hulk Hogan just talking to a skull.
What you gonna do? Is it bad? I would watch that.
I think the thing I'm realizing is it's the kind of thing a very stupid person thinks you need to do to be important. Like he's always going to the absolute extreme of whatever it is, which is how you know it's a lie. But it's always like, I didn't just beat him, I killed him.
What are you talking about, dude? That's the God's honest truth, brother.
Like,
these guns don't lie.
They
Jack.
do. They lie a lot, and they're unregistered. The guns themselves are literally a lie. But no, the if you ever like a real athlete, like a real professional athlete or a real fighter, like you know, if you listen to like a old Muhammad Ali interviews.
Muhammad Ali told Hulk Hogan that he was the greatest, Jack.
No. What? That's not something he said, right?
That's something he said in the other book, His Life Outside the Ring. Muhammad Ali told me that I was the greatest.
Christ. That's a joke in a song. I don't know what song it is. No, that's Will Smith or something.
About Hulk Hogan.
Met Ali told me I'm the greatest. That's Will Smith or something. Like, I've heard that before.
Well, that really happened to Hulk Hogan.
Because and it was stated in a way that's like unbelievable. Because like Muhammad Ali met Bruce Lee and did not tell Bruce Lee he was the greatest.
But he told Hulk Hogan that he was the greatest, according to the Hulk.
No, he fucking didn't. No, he didn't. But yeah, like Muhammad Ali, he doesn't talk about fights like that. He doesn't talk about how he killed people because he doesn't need to. Because if you doubt him, you could stand there and try to take one punch from Muhammad Ali and you will immediately understand your mistake.
Well, now he's talking about all the crazy shenanigans that Andre the Giant got into. Like one time, brother, he took a huge jump in a hotel bed, dude. He had his ass hanging out of the tub, brother, and he just shat on the floor, and he shat on his bed once, too.
I mean,
Hogan would be in his hotel room late at night, and he'd get a call on his room phone from Andre while he was in the middle of having sex, brother, and he would be giving him the play-by-play for some reason, dude.
Well, because Hulk Hogan wanted to know what it was like.
Because Hulk Hogan didn't know yet. That's it checks out.
No, because every time he like started to get to second base with a girl, he started to talk about how like actually sports were better when we had different leagues for different people.
Every time he gets close, he just keeps bringing up apartheid, and maybe we have different bathrooms. Maybe the front of the bus should be reserved for specific people, brother. And you're like, oh, Hulk, I need to go. Oh, look at that! My roommate's calling me. I gotta go see what's going on there. I'll definitely call you later. Okay, bye.
So I will tell you, this isn't the first time I've heard stories about Andre the Giant's ass.
Yeah, or how much alcohol he can put away. Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah. So there's like Andre the Giant, famously not a healthy dude. Big, too big for his frame, had a growth hormone issue. I think I even heard once like there was an opportunity for him to like get it corrected and he chose not
and
to
he
because he wanted to be
didn't.
big.
Yeah.
But there's I think it's Carrie Elway's biography or he talks about this being on set of The Princess Bride and Andre the Giant busting ass.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And it like almost shut down a set. Like so there's corroborating evidence for some of this. Andre the Giant had spectacular movements.
He talks about his match with Andre at Shea Stadium. So the main event was Bruno Sammartino versus Larry Zbyszko. But no one gave a shit about them. They were here for Hulk Hogan versus Andre, dude.
Yeah, I'd believe that actually, yeah.
Actually, though, Sammartino and Zbyszko did a lot of business. And this was the culmination of like a year-plus long feud between master and student. They actually did a lot of business, and it was the main event for a reason. And he will later say that most people forgot that he even wrestled Andre in the early '80s at Shea Stadium.
I've been trying.
Well, you can't ever forget this.
Mm-hmm.
So they were having Vince McMahon Sr. was drawing up plans to send him down to the Carolinas, apparently. But then he got fired because Rocky 3, dude, and he also was pissing blood. Oh wait, no, that's later. Let's see.
Hulk Hogan is just like it is like a nightmare child. It's like he was mean to me, but then he died, brother. And now Hulk's having the last laugh.
He's on Johnny Carson. And there's a weird aside here that caught my eye. That he was also there with a girl named Brooke Shields, who would have been somewhere between 10 and 14 at the time.
I was going to say.
And her mom suddenly got involved and kept them apart from each other all night. And it was really weird, brother. And it was like...
Good mom.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good call. Even if you didn't do anything... But the fact that you remember it this many years later is a little weird, so I'm wondering if maybe you did.
And that you're choosing to describe it this way. So obviously the mother thought you were doing something, or that you maybe just looked like the kind of guy who would be inappropriate with a young girl.
Yeah.
And just didn't want you to be alone with her. And it's weird that bothers you, I guess.
Yeah. Especially knowing how Hulk Hogan treats his own daughter.
So Hulk, when you got
TV.
Well, I'm going to sit here and say, like, when you got into wrestling, you legitimately thought you were going to get ripped by a wrestler. That was like your first match, right? So I could understand. I think you would maybe not want your daughter alone
with
amongst some of this crowd, you know? Like it's like you said, there's some dark stuff. Some scandals. Vince McMahon is there. It's one of those things where it's like, oh no, why is it the guy who looks exactly like the guy who would do something like that?
Who would have guessed?
Yeah,
no, if Hulk Hogan in the 80s were hanging out with my daughter, I'd be like, maybe I'm going to get between the two of you. Just in case. I don't care if you're doing anything or not. She's a minor.
It would be weird if Brooke Shields, a 12-year-old Brooke Shields, was left alone with a bunch of adult men in any kind of Hollywood or television situation. I mean...
Yeah, but her mom was really weird, dude.
Yeah, because she thought you were trying to make moves on her daughter.
And even if you weren't, it's weird that you're remembering it. That's the thing here.
It's weird that you think it's weird, right?
That's true.
Like I would not expect someone I just met to want to leave their child with me. I would think it was weird if they did. But I would think that's an irresponsible parent. Like, you don't know me. But you don't like it when people suspect you of things. But also you carry unregistered guns and you keep talking about killing people. How you fled Tokyo with the Yakuza on your tail. And yeah, it's weird that Brooke Shields' mom didn't want me hanging out with her when she was 12. Like, what? You shouldn't be hanging out with
gentleman, brother.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that you think it's weird. I'm gonna side with Brooke Shields' mom on this one. I think the Hulkster may be being honest, but maybe not truthful.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with her as well.
I think he's maybe being a little too honest, because I just wouldn't have told that story because it makes him look
I would
bad.
I would also just left that part out and be like, yeah, I was on Johnny Carson, and then just like move on.
It's like you're trying to get ahead of something here.
Yeah. So he does a photo shoot for Wii.
What?
Yeah. OUI? Wii.
Oh, Wii, yes.
And with 4 nude ladies. And Sylvester Stallone was like, that'll be a great opportunity. You should do it. Good publicity. And he's like, okay. Later on, his wife will find out about it, and he acts like super guilty. Like, she's like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? And he's like, well, you know, it's something that happened before I met you.
They're
French.
Stormed
off, all pissed off.
They're French. That's just what they do. That's how they say hello. Maybe
yeah, it's weird that
Bonjour.
It's weird that he brings this up again, because this is across 2 different chapters, brother. Then he goes to Minnesota with the AWA, and he talks about Jesse Ventura, that piece of shit, that big fucking egomaniac piece of shit. I hate him. I always thought he was cool with me, and then he would go behind my back and say all kinds of shit about me. He's a fucking asshole. I hate him. Fuck you, Jesse, if you're reading my book, brother. Fuck you. I'm gonna destroy any union you ever make, brother.
I don't think Jesse's reading your book.
Yeah, probably not. It is widely considered that when Jesse became governor, Hogan, part of the reason he decided to announce his candidacy for president was to try to one-up Jesse Ventura.
No.
Who would have thought? Maybe he should kill Jesse Ventura for a few minutes legally, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. It's... did he even run? Like, was he on the ballot?
No. No, he was on Jay Leno, and they asked him softball questions like, what party are you going to run for? And he said, right now, I'm right down the middle. And he was like, wow, I can't believe Jay Leno would betray us like that by asking us these questions that we didn't have the answers to. And then Jay was like, so you said you're retiring. He said, no, you misheard me. I didn't say I'm retired. I just said I'm tired. Clap, 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 clap.
Tired, like the do-nothing Democrats, brother. The Hulkster's running on a pure libertarian platform.
Libertarian? God damn it. He would. How different would the 2000 election be if he were on the ballot, Ben? Would he have been able to take a few hundred votes away from George W. Bush to give Al Gore Florida? You don't know, brother. Hogan would have done well in Florida. That's
where Hogan would have done well in Florida.
He would have done well in Florida.
Telling all the dock workers what backwards pieces of shit they were.
Yeah. He could have swung Florida for Al Gore as a spoiler, Ben.
Oh, does he think that?
Oh man, we'll get to that. He thought he could.
What was he going to do? Bribe
brother.
the Supreme Court?
He thought he could win, dude.
No, he didn't.
He thought he could win in this book, Ben.
If he thought he could win, he would have tried harder.
No, he has a really bullshit reason for why he dropped out. But we're in the AWA right now with that piece of shit, Jesse Ventura.
Okay.
He talks about how Vern Gagne was fucking his own promotion by only favoring his friends and family. And there was a time when Hogan was starting to get all these cheers, and it was really obvious Hogan should have won the title, Jack. But then motherfucking Vern Gagne tried to hook Hogan up with his daughter so that he would be part of the family. And when Hogan turned that down, Vern did not want to give him the title, and so they gave a fuck finish that ended in like a DQ or something. And all the fans paid extra money because they raised the ticket prices, and then they didn't give him a resolution, and they fucked the fans. And also, Hogan was selling t-shirts on the side, but Vern found out about that and decided to make his own Hogan t-shirts and won a cut of money that Hogan made in Japan, dude.
No.
So that was weird. Vern wanted to hook Hogan up with his daughter, which, by the way, he was dating his horse-legged future wife at this time. He did describe her and her horse legs in this book. Again, Ben. Again. She was a thoroughbred horse in this one, and she was a racing horse in the other one, Ben.
Well,
and
they're
that ass.
not mutually exclusive, I guess.
And that ass. Those horse legs and that ass, Ben.
That's so strange.
And it was E.T. She and her mom went to watch E.T. The line was too long, so I went to Rocky 3, and they're like, oh my god, I'm dating that guy. Thunder Lips.
Now, what was the inflection in her voice when she said that? Was it, oh my god, I'm dating that guy, Thunder Lips, or oh my god, I'm dating that guy?
Hulk Hogan doesn't know.
Hulk Hogan can only assume she was as excited to see Thunder Lips as she was disappointed to miss E.T.
First time out, he goes out with a friend, and he's like, wow, look at that chick from the valley, brother. And at first, she's like, hey, you want to dance? And he's like, nah. So she dances with his friend, and then he's like, what am I doing? She's got that thoroughbred horse legs, brother. I'm going to dance with her. Afterwards, she forgot his name, and then she was like, can I get your number? And she was like, yeah, okay. And then she just left. And then they drove after her, brother, and they're at like a stoplight, and he's like, no, but really, what's your number? And so she gives her his number, and so he does call her. They go out on a date. Oh, and she speeds away after giving her number to him. And he gets her in for a date. He gets her in for a date, and he's 45 minutes late to their first date because his friend was also supposed to be coming for some reason.
Hulk, this is why you're not getting a lot of girls. You keep bringing your friend. You keep talking about race. You keep comparing them to horses. There's just so many things you're doing
got some
wrong.
Long horse legs there. Anyway, did I tell you about my treaties on apartheid, brother? I just can't get over the apartheid, man.
This is what Andre the Giant was trying to tell you about on those phone calls. He was trying to be like, Hulk. I'm not going to try to do an Andre the Giant voice. It's just going to be offensive. It's just going to be offensive. It's going to be offensive to the French, to the giant community. We're just not going to go there. We're just not going to do this, okay?
Well, Andre was trying to help him out. You see, Hogan had cut his head up from wrestling, and Andre was like, all right, Linda, you got to hold his eyes to his head and wake him up. And wake up 4 or 5 times a night to make sure he's not bleeding to death. And so she does that. And later she found out it was all fake, and she was really mad, brother.
But how did she find out? Did he tell her?
I don't remember how she figures it out because the world found out, Ben, that wrestling was fake, dude.
Well, it doesn't mean you can't bash your head off of something.
Well, Ben, he says, I'm madly in love with you, and she's like, I don't want to move in with you. And he's like, but...
Ooh, right, the self-esteem. Hulkster, feeling a little emotionally honest, brother.
We'll never do
took
that
the
one
wind.
again, dude.
That took the wind out of the old Hulk sails.
He has a weird story about how he and a friend were driving around in Minnesota, I think, somewhere in there. It was minus 70 degrees, Ben.
Yeah, that sounds right.
and there is a woman outside, totally nude. And she would have been dead
I was going to say,
if they hadn't saved her.
Oh, no, she was dead. Don't worry about that.
So they got her in the car, and apparently she had a disagreement with some wrestler who then threw her naked out of the car in the 70-degree weather. And then so they dropped her off at the hospital, and then they drove away because they were like, well, she's probably a little drunk right now, so she's not going to remember which wrestler helped her out and which wrestler threw her out in the 70-degree temperature where she was going
Hulk,
to
it sounds
die
like you threw a woman out in the 70-degree temperature.
I'm being honest, but I might not be truthful, brother.
Hulk, it really sounds like you had more to do with this than you're saying.
No, it's just a weird story, Jack.
It's just a weird coincidence that another wrestler happened to have abandoned a nude woman in a back road in Minnesota, and you just also happened to be driving along because, you know, wrestlers, they're just always running into each other out in the wild, and you happen to find
that's
this
exactly
woman,
what I'm saying.
and you happen to abandon her at a hospital because you weren't sure she'd remember that you were the one that dropped her off, even though the hospital staff would probably remember that you were the one that dropped her off. You were afraid that she might tell the hospital staff that you were also the one who led to her situation. Yeah, no. I wouldn't have told this story. I am starting to think maybe he wrote the book.
Well, he did tell a story about a guy who liked to apply way too much deodorant and always wash his hands. And he's like, wow, what a weird dude. Anyway, next chapter. And it's like, why are you talking about a man's OCD like that? What's wrong with you?
Well, because that's the only way Hulk knew to describe it. They didn't have the words for OCD back then. That was just a weird dude.
Yeah, that's true. So this is around the time Vince McMahon Jr. gets him to come to the WWF. And he gets married to Linda, and Linda's mom and dad paid for the wedding, but also he had to pay $12,000 for extra alcohol, brother. So there's that, dude.
Okay.
So he talks about
what was that good? Does that go anywhere? Does that matter?
No, but it will go somewhere in about 6 years from this book. In his next book, where he just talks about his bitch wife nonstop, who I wish all the best for, by the way.
Is he implying that Linda drank $12,000 worth of alcohol?
It was probably her guest, brother, or her parents should have paid more money for the wedding, dude.
How much was the wedding?
They paid a lot of money. They paid out the ass, I think is what he said, something like that. But it was $12,000 short, brother, for all that alcohol, dude.
That she drank.
That everyone at the wedding drank, brother.
Not the wrestlers. Not Andre the Giant.
Maybe they were there.
Not literal giant men.
He conveniently doesn't say exactly who was there.
Not literal giant men famous for partying. It was Linda and her family.
Linda and her family drank $12,000 in alcohol, dude.
Not the people you hang out with.
That's
Linda
okay.
And her family.
That's okay because it's not like we're getting divorced anytime soon, brother. You know what I mean, dude?
Well, I mean, he had to pay for it by not buying as much cocaine.
Well, he doesn't even talk about. He didn't even do cocaine in this universe, Ben. And then
Can you imagine, like being the guy? Because this is, I tried to put myself in his headspace because I saw a picture of the man who co-wrote the other Hogan book, and he looks like a very normal man. Like he has a family.
You
he
get
goes
a fucking
on hikes.
tape deck. Let me tell you something, brother.
And I'm just picturing him listening to this story because he seems like a normal dude. He's listening to this story and he's like,
and then there was this naked chick out at minus 70 degrees, brother.
Because you got to wonder, it's like, how much of this stuff did he pitch that guy? And that guy was like, I don't know, Hulk. I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to admit to having an unregistered firearm and then finding all these naked ladies on the side of the road. Like, I just don't know if that's
It would
what
be
you
a
want
good
to talk.
story for the kids, brother.
A cautionary tale, perhaps. Yeah.
A cautionary tale for the kids, Jack.
Yeah, if you don't stay in school, yeah, you might wind up with Hulk dropping you at the hospital. Negative 70 degrees.
Negative 70 degrees. It's colder than most places in Siberia, brother.
I was going to say, I think like Mars is warmer than that.
I think you die within minutes of exposure.
Certainly if you were fully nude, yeah. I mean, we're at least looking at like some kind of frostbite situation or something. I mean, Hulk didn't, maybe we were, he didn't stick around to find out.
So he talks about how Bob Backlund, you remember Bob Backlund, that whiny bitch? Well, we were friends. But he was a crazy, nervous, insane person. He was a wreck. He was a wreck in our meeting between Vince McMahon Sr., Jr., him, and me, where I was supposed to win the title, and Bob Backlund looked like a crazy person, but I earned his respect, and we're best friends, but he's also a piece of shit who whined all the time, but we're friends, brother. And so we did go ahead with me winning the title from the Iron Sheik, and also Vince McMahon Sr. is pissing a fountain of blood, dude. And then we go to the show, and I beat the Sheik, dude. And then the Sheik said he was offered money to break Hogan's arm. He didn't, and Hulk Hogan repaid him by fucking him forever.
I do remember until the day he died, the Iron Sheik was tweeting shit about Hulk Hogan. Yeah,
he hates Hogan so much.
Yeah,
because what he did, according to the Iron Sheik, is Sheik was supposed to have a rematch for that title. He wasn't supposed to win, I don't think. I really doubt that. But the idea is you're wrestling against the top guy. So you get paid main event money. So that's a big payday. And so Iron Sheik was like, I didn't break your arm because we can wrestle again and make a ton of money. Great. And then Hogan would always apparently be very disingenuous whenever the Sheik is like, hey, what the fuck? We were supposed to have a rematch or this, that, and the other thing. And Hogan would always say something. I think he always said, Sheiky baby. Don't worry, I've got you, brother. And then he would fuck him. He would totally cut the legs out from under this guy and fuck him.
So again, I'm gonna say this. It's kind of like in the last book when Hulk Hogan reassured that young man that he wasn't going to kill him.
He also tells cancer patients that they're not going to die when he's doing Make-A-Wish.
Ooh.
Anyway, go on.
Okay. So maybe the wrestler should be. You know what? That's we got to handle these things one at a time. So, if somebody did come up to me and say like, "Hey, I was told to break your arm, but I didn't, so that we could work together," I don't want to work with them. Now, I'm a book podcaster. I'm not the world champ. I don't have 22-inch pythons. I'm not 6'7". So there's some of that. But that would start the relationship on a bad foot, I think. But it does kind of imply that Hulk maybe is scared of the Iron Sheik.
Well, he did say he was a former bodyguard for the Shah of Iran, and I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
If that's true. Also, they're 24-inch pythons, brother. You get it right, goddammit.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean,
22 inches. Those are bullshit superstar Billy Graham numbers for bitches, brother.
I think. Well, look, I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about I lack even 22-inch pythons. My my pythons are more like, gardener snakes. But I would be afraid of the Iron Sheik, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If the Iron Sheik told me that he graciously did not break my arm so that we could work together, I would be uncomfortable working with the Iron Sheik in the future because I don't want the Iron Sheik to break my arm.
Well, now Hogan is squarely carrying the load, and no one else in history, brother, had that target on their back the way he did. What if other people will break Hulk Hogan's arms or legs in the ring? They'd get a big payday, or blackballed from the WWF.
Does anybody ever get arrested for any of this shit?
Of course not, dude.
Okay.
He also said Vince McMahon was buying 10 or 12 heavyweight title belts a month because he'd sweat right through them, dude, and the championship belt would turn his trunks brown, brother. That doesn't sound right?
I mean, if he's buying like cheap belts, I guess that
it's like leather, right?
Well, if it is it dyed leather? Like, is it good leather? Is it leather?
Not if you're getting 10 or 12 heavyweight belts a month, Jack. And he's just sweating through them and his trunks are now brown, dude.
Oh, God. I mean, it's a charming anecdote, but I don't...
He says that he was the one who came to Vince with the idea of merchandising. He takes credit for that. What if we had action figures and t-shirts, brother?
What if books, but on the internet?
What's the internet? Exactly, brother. Al Gore is going to make it. It's going to take off, brother.
It's a series of tubes that distribute information.
And now the WWF is starting. So wrestling was territories back in the day. You go tour around the various territories. If you were the NWA World Champion, WWF was breaking down the territorial boundaries, brother. And they went to Kansas City, where Harley Race threatened to murder Hulk Hogan. He went down to the arena drunk with a gun the morning before and tried to light the ring on fire. Then he said he was going to come back when Hogan was there that evening. And then Hogan is like, all right, well, I heard that Harley was there. I pulled my pants up without even wiping my ass. I don't know why he said that. To go confront Harley. And Harley was like, you son of a bitch. Can I get a job?
Yes. Do you well before I answer, do you still have the gun?
Presumably yes.
Well, then welcome aboard.
And I thought that this was bullshit, but Harley Race did say he did all of these things, including trying to light the ring on fire and threatening people with a gun. So
doesn't seem like the most stable crowd, which is, I think, maybe something Brooke Shields' mom sensed.
What are you talking about, brother? I would have protected her with these pythons, dude. With these unregistered guns.
Don't protect my daughter. Don't ever say that. I'm not comfortable with that. Don't. You know what? You just go your way. She'll go her way.
So he said, eventually people started thanking him because he made it easier for everyone to make a living, dude.
This is really important to him that I believe this.
Yes.
Everyone
started thanking him, except for all the losers who weren't taking this seriously, who weren't treating wrestling as a full-time job. They washed out, Jack. They couldn't cut the mustard.
Why don't people want to work anymore? I think I know which side you'd run on for your presidential platform, Hulk.
Libertarian all the way.
Libertarian. The only honest relationship between two men could be when they exchange chickens for a piece of land. That's what the Hulk believes.
And he had a lot of land, dude.
For his horses. His sexy, sexy horses. And, breaking down territories, that was confusing for the old Hulkster's sex life. I'm not used to like people coming together. So that
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. Breaking down territories and breaking down what is and isn't right to have sex with, brother.
oh,
You got those horses, those sexy thoroughbred male race horses.
you think it goes the other way? You think like if Linda looks like a horse, does the horse sometimes look like Linda? I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking questions here.
God. So he does do a lot of Make-A-Wish, so I'll give him props for that.
Oh,
Even though he's telling kids that they're going to be all right, which you're not supposed to say to kids. You're not supposed to be like, yeah, everything's going to be... Like, you don't have to tell them, like, you're going to fucking die, but, like, maybe don't give them the false hope that their cancer is going to go away.
well, I didn't say that. See, I was being honest but not truthful with the child. What I meant was that he's going to live forever in the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, you're going to be all right because you met me, brother.
Yeah, I get you in. I attended a youth ranch. So me and old JC were pretty tight. And I put in a good word for you, little buddy. You're going
is it
straight
bad?
up.
I thought you said Jay-Z, not JC.
Did the Hulk know Jay-Z?
I'm sure he will. He would say that.
I could imagine their paths crossing.
Yeah. So he's going to tell a story, a weird story, Ben. Adrian Adonis and Dan Spivey, they get into a fight, like a real legitimate fight, and Dan Spivey beats the shit out of Adrian Adonis, and then kicked him in the head while he was down.
Ooh.
And then he was preparing to do a running punt to his head while he was like unconscious. And that's when the Hulkster and some other wrestlers had to jump in. But you see,
You
the
probably
fact
could have
is,
jumped in a minute sooner.
that is
actually.
what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, you probably could have done that all sooner. But the Hulkster says, there was a dark cloud over the people who broke up that fight because you're supposed to handle your own shit in wrestling, dude. I'm
Supposed
like,
to watch a man die.
yeah, you could have fucking killed that guy.
Yeah.
A running punt to an unconscious man, that could kill him.
If you kick somebody in the head, there's a really good chance you're going to break their neck. But yeah, especially if he's like the fight, you should have broken it up when one guy was on the ground. I mean,
when one guy goes to the ground,
now.
the fight's over.
Yeah.
Even UFC, they don't let you
No.
beat on a guy who's down. He's down.
No, it's really not hard to kill someone if they're not able to defend themselves at all. Like it. I mean, a lot of people have stories about this because it happens a lot. But like one punch can sometimes take somebody down. Like people have died from just falling the wrong way after taking a punch. So yeah, I would say, I guess the point is, if you see a fight and you're a 6'7" guy with 24-inch pythons and you're in a position where you think maybe you could save this person from serious harm, you could do that.
Well, he stepped in for the second kick, brother.
Okay.
Then he talks about the first WrestleMania, mostly about how big of a baby Mr. T was, and how he had to train Mr. T and wrangle Mr. T, and he was a drama queen, and he kept threatening to just no show on the event, and the day of, he tried to leave, and Hogan had to come and get him and talk him down, and then he also had to convince Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff not to fucking kill Mr. T in the ring because he was an outsider and not a real wrestler.
I was going to say, was
he had
Mr.
to
T a
wrangle this
wrestler?
guy. No. But he was in Rocky 3, so there's the connection.
Well, yeah, I thought he was just an actor who like happened to be a big guy.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah.
Okay.
But Mr. T got to go WrestleMania 1 as the first ever main event. He was tagging with Hulk Hogan.
Okay. I mean, congratulations. Like, you had to train the guy who, like, I'm so far on Mr. T's side on this, it's not even funny. Like, I can imagine Mr. T, real actor, action figures made of him, has his own Saturday morning cartoon show. Like, A-Team.
We'll get to that. We'll
Like,
get to that.
like Mr. T is what you're trying to be in so many ways. And that's why you're talking about him now, because you're jealous. No, like Mr. T, I could totally imagine this guy who's used to like actors and directors and like maybe serious people who aren't Carney adjacent. Yeah, he probably did seem like he wasn't there for much of your shit. What you're interpreting of him being a baby is maybe just like, no, maybe we should just act like people and not animals. I don't know. It's just me.
Nah, because then we had to do all these press releases and we had to interview, and he hated doing that, brother. He talks
But
about
yeah-
a story.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
don't
if
get
you're
paid
familiar
for it.
with Richard Belzer.
Oh, I think I am.
He's on SVU.
Yeah. He's Munch, right?
I don't remember. He's the guy with glasses and he looks older.
Yeah.
So he had a talk show, and Linda McMahon was like, Hulk, we got one more show. You got to go on there. He's like, oh, Mr. T really hates that. Mr. T is like ready to fucking quit. And he's like, well, there's going to be a bunch of kids with wheelchairs in the front row. So like, you got to be there. But there were no kids with wheelchairs in the front row, brother. And he gets there.
What a
And
weird thing to
Belzer
say.
is kind of a douche and goading Hogan.
But
And finally he's like, oh, yeah, I think wrestling is fake. You want to put me in a chokehold? And he's like, yeah, I guess I can. Like, are you sure you want me to do that? And he's like, yeah, put me in a chokehold. So Hogan puts him in.
Who wants? Okay, Belzer
Hogan
wants.
puts him in a chokehold, applies pressure. He goes limp. Hogan drops him on the fucking floor. His head cracks open on the floor. And then after the break, like the producer, they go to break. The producer's like, holy shit, man, how could you do that? And Hogan's like, I'm sorry. He'd say he wanted me to. So he's trying to smooth things over. And Mr. T is like, he was being a punk ass. Hogan's a world champion. This guy's goading him. He got what he deserved. Anyway, Belzer sued him.
Yeah,
and that's
what happens in the real world.
He got his own French chateau off of the money that he won in that settlement.
Yeah, that's what happens in the real world.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if Mr. T's sticking up for Hogan in this, I have already said I'm all the way on Mr. T's side. I actually genuinely like Mr. T. I enjoyed the A-Team. But it does also seem like Richard Belzer was kind of asking for that.
Richard Belzer was. I've watched the footage. He is definitely asking for it.
If he asked him to put him in a chokehold and then he got put... Now, you didn't have to drop him.
Yeah, you also didn't have to put him in a real chokehold.
I mean, did he tap?
Well, I think Hogan's story is that he says, when you're feeling like there's too much pressure or you need you tap on me.
Yeah.
He didn't tap. He goes limp. And then Hogan drops him.
Okay, you shouldn't have dropped him.
He says that he was startled, so he dropped him.
Did he tap?
He did not tap. He went
Well, then
limp.
fuck, dude. That's what he asked for it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, yeah, he asked for it. But also in the real world, they will sue you. That's why you don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Richard Belzer is being kind of an asshole. But also good for him getting a fucking house out of it, I guess. We should all be so lucky.
If I were Richard Belzer in that situation, and look, I don't think my family would let me sue. If I begged somebody to choke me, and then they choked me and I passed out and I hit my head, I think everybody I know would be like, yeah, no, that's on you. But yeah, it's Hulk, you make bad decisions.
Well,
but I do. I think if Mr. T supported him. But Mr. T, by the way, did you hear all the shit Hulk's been talking about you when you're going to bat for him like this? Be careful, Mr. T.
Well, Hogan, he got a few episodes on the A-Team as a guest star, and he was basically...
Sounds like Mr. T did a lot for Hogan.
He was playing Peacekeeper, because Mr. T and one of the other actors, I think it was the planner of the A-Team, I can't remember who the fuck that is, but they didn't get along, so Hogan had to play peacekeeper between the two. And he said the producers offered him $45,000 an episode, which was a lot of money back then.
It's a lot of money now.
That's a lot of money now.
I'd do it for $45,000 if you put me in, coach.
Fuck yeah. But he had this wrestling thing, dude, so he was going to keep doing that.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you chose professional wrestling over $45,000 an episode on the A-Team. I also don't know why it was either or.
I can't do both, brother.
Why?
Because what if he gets injured in doing one? He got injured fighting King Kong Bundy prior to WrestleMania 2, but he hulks through.
So that's what you do.
Ribs or whatever.
If you get injured doing one or the other, you just hulk through.
I think he also was like, I didn't want to deal with this bullshit where they were constantly fighting. I didn't.
No, I'd much rather deal with people who kick each other in the head.
Yeah, well, I don't have to step in on that.
I'd much rather carry a gun everywhere because my coworker might burn the place down. I don't want to have to deal with the petty squabbles of actors when I could be in real physical danger every day.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Adrenaline running, dude.
I don't believe you.
I'm being honest, but I'm not being truthful, brother.
I suspect there may be dishonesty and mistruth.
So he talks about he goes through his Andre the Giant thing. This time he doesn't say he tears his entire back. He just tears some of the muscles in his back, which is what he also
Why
said.
do you want to hurt Andre the Giant? Now you know it's supposed to be fake. Why are you hurting Andre the Giant?
No, these are his own muscles when he's lifting Andre the Giant.
Oh,
brother.
Good. Hulk through it.
And then they're like, we weren't sure that Andre would consent to lose. And like, that's not what the documentary said. The documentary was like, yeah, Andre knew he was going to lose. He wasn't just going to sit on Hogan and win the title.
Because he could have.
Yeah, because
if he'd intended to, he would have.
Yeah, exactly. Andre knew. The main concern was not whether or not Andre would consent to lose, which is what Hogan says it was. The main concern was, Andre, is your body, like, are you capable of doing this? Because your body is falling apart.
Yeah.
Because you see Andre wrestling after WrestleMania 3. Eventually, he's just part of a tag team, and he does, like, 30 seconds of wrestling. And that's about it. Because he's not moving too well.
No. That's why you don't want to be a giant.
But they had the match, and Hulk Hogan peaked in life. That was like his defining moment ever. He will never not tell the story about how he tore his back or tore all of his back, and then maybe also tore Andre the Giant from the mortal coil. The story just gets more and more and more fanciful as time goes on. Because yes, eventually he does just kill Andre the Giant a few days after WrestleMania 3 because he sustained such devastating injuries in their match, brother.
He really just wants this. He wants to be a Norse
I need
god.
to know what it feels like to kill a man, dude.
Wait, no, he needs to know what it feels like to kill. There's a part of me that thinks this is really what this is about. He wants to have killed a literal giant. He, in his mind...
I've been climbing beanstalks all day, dude.
No, I really think that's what this is about, is that Andre the Giant was in many ways, a larger than life figure. He was like superhuman in terms of size. There are few human beings that are capable of being as big as he is. And he almost had like a superpower. And Hulk Hogan is so jealous of that because that is so what he wants to be, that he needs to be greater than that. And the only way he can is to be like the Giant Slayer. That's literally what this is about. Like, because he's sitting there, he's like, my 24-inch pythons. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, you'll never be as big as Andre the Giant. You simply cannot be.
But what if I keep training?
No, it's never going to happen. That's the thing. And that's what he can't deal with. That's what he can't deal with. That's why he has
What if I use the hyperbolic time chamber, brother?
No, that's why he's got major Vegeta syndrome. There's Andre
no
the
matter
Giant.
how hard you train, you can never be as big as Andre. So I need to kill him, dude.
If Andre the Giant's body didn't fall apart, and maybe if he could speak English a little better, Andre the Giant is the wrestler everybody wants. You're Vegeta. Love to hate you. Like it when you're on our side, but
Damn, brother. Well, let's talk about my cartoon now. The Rock and Wrestling cartoon, Ben, which was really great. But there's a problem. Vince McMahon really didn't like if you did drugs.
Vince McMahon didn't like what?
If you did drugs. If you can't pass a drug test. So the problem is, and if you don't pass a drug test, you can't even do the cartoon show, brother. So
Vince McMahon tells you if you do the cartoon show?
Yeah, if you don't pass a drug test, you can't wrestle, you can't do the cartoon show either. So they had all these problems with the casting because people would either quit or die or they couldn't pass a drug test, Ben. What was that middle one? What? People fucking dying over here? What?
People, well, I got to imagine it's all related, right? The drug tests, the dying, the...
Nah.
So this is like how I couldn't play football in junior high if I didn't have a C average, which is wild, by the way, that you only have to have a C average.
Yeah, you could fall asleep in class and get a C average on accident.
Yeah, and there were still guys who couldn't. But yeah, so it's like that. It's like coach is telling you can't play if you don't hit the books. But in this case, it's, stay sober. But why couldn't Hulk pass a drug test? What drugs was he on?
Hulk could. It was other people, Ben. Other people couldn't pass a drug test, dude.
Other people who maybe were in his car?
Hulk Hogan never did drugs until later in his next book when he did. But then it didn't affect him. So maybe it didn't even show up on a drug test, dude.
True. Yeah.
Then he starts having weird stories. Dolly Parton had a dream about Hulk Hogan marrying her or something and wanted to film this, and that was real. And then he said something about, now guys sitting with bent clothes wires on his TV in Botswana might not know who the hell Marilyn Monroe is. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? What does that have to do with anything? He says he was huge in Hungary in the 80s, brother.
I mean, that Soviet bloc is the market you really need to be hitting.
That's what I was like. Hungary was part of the bloc, right?
Yeah.
Oh God. So
did Hulk Hogan tear down the Berlin Wall?
You should have. Unfortunately, that was Sylvester Stallone. We all saw Rocky IV.
Yeah.
And that's when Stallone beat him to it.
Yeah.
So
he didn't have Thunder Lips in that one?
No, it's weird.
I know, because he made the franchise.
He was $12,000 in Rocky 3, and he was $12 million for Rocky 4, and they just couldn't afford that, brother.
Yeah, he was $12,000 in Rocky 3, and he was like, "Well, I got the A-Team offering me $45,000 an episode." So,
and that was big money back then, dude.
That's many people's yearly income today.
Yeah. That's big money now, as it turns out. So, then he gets a shitty script for No Holds Barred that sucked and it was garbage, and he and Vince McMahon, they had to rewrite that shitty script to make it better. And they finally got it in the films.
It was better, right?
It beat Ghostbusters 2 for a week, which is true. Don't look at the weeks after that. Don't look at the weeks after that.
Fun fact, when your first Hulk episode came out, Jason messaged me,
Oh God.
and he sent me a screenshot of the episode, and it was like, oh, I gotta listen to this. And then he goes, have you ever heard of No Holds Barred? It's terrible.
Yeah, he has Zeus, who later wrestles in the ring, brother.
I told my mom, my mom famously thought we were being too mean to Hulk. And she told me she did not realize he had ever been in movies.
Yeah, Santa with Muscles, Suburban Commando. He talks about those. He says they're both good and they made money, brother.
They're both good and underappreciated by the movie-going audience, brother.
We beat Ghostbusters 2 for a week.
To be fair, Ghostbusters 2 kind of sucked.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2, they were phoning it in.
Yeah.
Well, Steven Spielberg wanted him for Gremlins 2, dude.
Steven Spielberg wanted him for Gremlins. Did Steven Spielberg direct Gremlins 2?
According to Hulk Hogan, I assume that must be true, because Hulk Hogan would never lie to me.
Can you Google this? Can you Google this for me?
Who directed Gremlins 2?
Right? I don't know a lot about movies, but I know horror movies.
Oh, God. Well, he directed Gremlins 2, brother, according to the Hulkster.
I don't think Steven Spielberg had fucking anything to do with Gremlins.
No, I even looked. It's like, no, he didn't even do the first one. He didn't do anything. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
No, because that guy who's in
that
it,
was...
the janitor, or the drunk guy who's in the first one, that's an old, like Roger Corman horror actor who's in all of those movies. And I was like, that's not a Steven Spielberg movie. I forget the name of the director it was, but is it Joe Dante?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Steven Spielberg wanted him for Gremlins 2. I
don't think that
Spielberg called his agent and was like, I
don't think that was Steven Spielberg on the phone.
Well, Hulk Hogan, in his book, here's what he writes. He's like, all right, well, yeah, I have it's like a minor part, but it might lead to other parts. So I'll go to the set and I'll rub elbows with Steven Spielberg. Maybe I could rub elbows with him and he can make me a transvestite or a bad guy or a bad guy transvestite in his next movie.
Do you have something you need to talk to us about, Hulk?
Why were those his first? Why were those his go-to? Why were those the things that popped in his head? Like, maybe Steven Spielberg can put me in his next movie as a bad guy transvestite, brother.
So, first off, love that we're not talking about horses. This is progress.
I got these shapely legs, dude.
Look, Hulk, if you want to wear a dress, I encourage you to embrace that. It's honestly fine. I mean, of all the things you've said today,
of all the things you've done in your life,
yeah, no, that would be fine. I encourage you. I accept you. I mean, the trans stuff, not the horse stuff. And I think like this could maybe explain a lot, actually, of your difficulties, your hypermasculinity. You're trying to compensate for something. You really just want to wear a dress. I would say embrace it. But also there's a problem in that Steven Spielberg is not going to be there.
Well, yeah, he went to the set and he was on the B set with the B director.
There was no set that Steven Spielberg was on.
Yeah,
because he had nothing to do with that movie.
Maybe he was on the actual set. Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't seem to know. I didn't even think to Google who the director of Gremlins was because I figured Hogan at least knew that much.
I wouldn't have called that out, except I just happened to know it wasn't Steven Spielberg. because I love Gremlins. And I knew it was Joe Dante. I couldn't think of his name right away, but yeah, I was like, I know it's not Steven Spielberg because I'm picturing the guy who directed Gremlins, and I know it's not Steven Spielberg.
Well, Steven Spielberg wanted him for that movie, brother.
No, he didn't.
He
That wasn't
just
Steven on the
there.
phone. That wasn't Steven on the phone. Okay, that was Steven Spielberg was making Jaws at this point. Like he was well into. He made did he make E.T.?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he
And
doesn't
he
want
saw
you.
Hogan in Rocky 3 and in No Holds Barred and was like, that's going to be my evil transvestite. That's where we're going. Look at those horse legs, brother.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at that mustache, I see raw gender play. I think there's something very drag about Hulk Hogan.
So, Hogan loses the title now because Ted DiBiase pays off the ref. Now, that's not what happened, Ben. No, the truth is even dumber, where Ted DiBiase pays someone to have plastic surgery to impersonate the ref, but in real life, the referee is just the twin brother of the actual referee. But Hogan didn't want to explain all that in his book, so that's fine. And he thinks that Macho Man Randy Savage is going to carry the belt while he films this movie. And he talks about how Macho Man is such a paranoid man.
Gremlins 2 is the movie we're talking about.
No holds barred. No holds
okay,
barred.
Okay.
So he says that people, just general, people were upset that Randy won the title due to Hulk Hogan hitting Ted DiBiase. And he's like, but no, that makes sense because he screwed me out of the title. They're mad because they made it all about you, Hogan. But his excuse is that's just Vince trying to get the best out of what he had. It's all Vince's fault. It's always Vince's fault. He's like, well, why didn't you lose to a 26-year-old Randy Orton in 2006 when you were like 58 or like 60 years old? Why didn't you lose to him? Well, that was Vince McMahon. He called the shots. He said I was winning. And it's like, okay, but did you maybe say like the match isn't happening unless I'm winning? And Vince was kind of like, okay, well, I guess you're winning then.
Look, I mean, if you want a dogpile on Vince McMahon, I'm all here for it. If Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon are fighting, like that's a real Trump Elon situation for me.
Mediocre Musk.
I can only win here. So yeah, let's do it.
So in the end, Hogan wins the title back from Randy Savage, and he says that Randy carried that belt better than anyone could have other than Hulk Hogan.
I prefer the Macho Man myself.
Yeah, me too. Then he talks about the Ultimate Warrior. He's a nice guy. Untrue. But a flash in the pan, and he sucked. And he talks about how Hogan intentionally stole the show from him because after he lost at WrestleMania, he grabbed the belt, and he tearfully handed it over to the Warrior because he was trying to take the spotlight off of the Warrior. And then backstage, he didn't write this in the book, but backstage, apparently he told some people that Vince will come crawling back to me in 6 months. Fuck you both, I guess. Warrior was also a piece of shit.
Not a lot of heroes in professional wrestling.
No, as it turns out, no.
Yeah. No, this is in many ways your ghost hunting.
So this
the
is
deeper
when he's like,
we dive into our problematic hobbies, the more we realize.
No, I always knew Hogan sucked, though. I mean,
yeah, but the whole thing, the whole thing's kind of rotten from the core, you know.
He also said that he, not in this book, but later, he was like, hey, why don't I just turn heel and beat the shit out of the Warrior after that match, and then I can call myself Hollywood Hulk Hogan or Triple H, a name that wouldn't have mattered to anyone because Triple H didn't exist for like 10 years, but it matters now because it does exist, so you're trying to take credit for that? Why are you lying? Why are you lying about this? Why are you like this?
Because
why?
He has attention that belongs to me.
I can't be a giant and I can't be Triple H, but maybe I can kill a giant and be Triple H. Am I right?
Their attention belongs to me, and I must take it back from them. It is my life's essence. And if I should lose this attention. I will and did die. That's what killed him.
Jesus. If he would have survived if he had an infusion of detention.
My favorite thing to imagine is that on his deathbed, a Make-A-Wish child came up to him and told him he was going to make it.
Oh my god. Jesus. I believe you, brother. Shh. Go to sleep.
Jeff the Killer. Jeff the Killer's there. Somebody should try to do like a Jeff the Killer wrestling persona.
There's still time for you. You can train.
There's still time for me. No, that time has passed. I'm not as old as Hulk Hogan, but I'm too old to wrestle.
So he's talking about how he's really hurt at this point, and the more he worked, the more hurt he became, and the more hurt he was, the more his attitude started to suck. And I should have just asked for a break, but I kept trying to power through.
Should have
retired. So I think Vince McMahon realized that he just needed to move on from me. That's why he was trying to put the belt on Warrior. And then I was
about to collect Social Security.
Well, look here. How about we turn Sergeant Slaughter into an Iraqi sympathizer, brother? And then who could come along and beat him but the all-American Hulk Hogan, dude? What a great concept. Every idea that he has is always, what if Hulk Hogan comes in and wins? What if that, brother?
Let's not do commentary on the War on Terror.
Well, this wasn't the War on Terror. This was the Gulf War. This was the Gulf War.
Let's not do commentary on the Gulf War. What if Hulk Hogan just shut the fuck up about things he didn't understand? I know he'd never speak. I'm okay with that.
So yeah, he took credit for, like, what if Sergeant Slaughter was a Saddam Hussein lover? And, like, I beat him for the title, brother.
Yeah, that's totally unlike anything you ever did before with the Iron Sheik.
I think he and the Sheik did team up. That's part of this angle.
Oh Christ.
Then he talks about how the Undertaker destroyed his neck. He had to get that in there. And then he's like, isn't this interesting? Isn't it weird that first Undertaker got the belt and then Flair? I thought that was interesting. Two non-Hulk Hogan people being champion. That's weird.
It's made up. Who cares? All you have to do to be champion is convince Vince McMahon you should be champion. You don't actually have to do anything. Yeah, so I know. Because they're in some kind of weird codependent relationship, and maybe sometimes Hulk Hogan wears a dress.
Yeah, Vince McMahon was like, I can't believe they did Hulk dirty for his final appearance. We got booed out of the building. They just introduced him and he came out. I would have never done that. It's like, well, Vince, you're not in charge anymore because you may have done some human trafficking. Shut up. Shut up and go away. I'm offended that you're still talking. Go away. You fucking... Have you looked in the mirror lately?
No,
you fucking make me sick to look at. Go away.
I think if anybody ever received an infusion of attention, it was Vince McMahon.
So he says that he said the whole thing about Arsenio Hall, which we already covered, but he has a different reason for why he didn't admit that he did steroids. It's for the kids, brother. It's for the kids this time.
You love lying to vulnerable children. I understand.
He said he quit steroids cold turkey, and that, like, maybe it was okay for him, but it might have been different for a guy who abused the drug and would get a doctor's prescription for a bottle of testosterone and then go to the gym and get 4 more bottles. They might have a little more trouble going off the stuff. That is him. He admits to doing that very thing in his next book, Ben.
Are steroids addictive?
Shit, are they? I mean, I assume
do you have withdrawal?
They make you feel powerful. I think there is a withdrawal.
Okay. I honestly don't. Hey, look, I know it's hard to believe with this physique. Never done them. Never touched the stuff. I do imagine it would be harder to quit cocaine.
Nah, it never affected him, dude. It didn't affect him like that, brother. He didn't get erectile dysfunction from it either. He needs you to know that. It never affected his dick, brother.
I believe you.
The Hulkster's still firing on all 6 cylinders, dude.
Okay. It's not a lot of cylinders.
It's not a lot of Hulk.
I mean,
So he's like, wow, Hogan versus Flair at WrestleMania didn't happen. And that sucked.
woo.
And business started falling off around this time. You know why business was falling off?
I don't know what his
Because
business is.
The wrestling business.
Oh.
Do you know why the wrestling business started cooling down?
We're
Because
bored.
they didn't push Hulkamania hard enough. If you would have put all your eggs back in this basket and push it, we would have gone to the moon, brother.
I thought it was because it's like the same guys that my dad was watching when he was a kid.
No, absolutely not, brother. You just need more Hulk Hogan winning.
I thought it was just maybe because you're not like as relevant.
Well, he talks about, Ben, how Bret Hart loses to Yokozuna, and Hulk Hogan was like, wouldn't it be awesome if I beat Yokozuna immediately after that at WrestleMania? And then the story goes that Hogan maybe refused to drop the title to Bret Hart, which they were supposed to do. And Bret Hart was pissed off at him, so he's like, well, that's not what I was told. I said I would lose the title to Yoko on my way out. And then Vince was like, okay, no, Bret, that's what you thought you heard. Because he's a gaslighting little bitch. That's what that sounds like. That sounds like you were confronted by 2 people. You were caught in a lie. You told one guy one thing. You told another guy another thing. And now they're mad at you. And you're like, well, that's what you thought you heard. But really, that's not what I said. Now, he does say that Bret Hart did eventually bury the hatchet in WCW, which I didn't believe. But Bret did say they buried the hatchet because he did think that Vince McMahon was trying to give him the runaround. But also, he still doesn't like Hulk Hogan.
So who do you personally think is the worst person? Vince
It's
McMahon
hard to say.
or
Vince
Hulk
McMahon,
Hogan?
because as far as I know, Hulk Hogan did never allegedly human traffic.
That's what I was thinking. I don't think Hulk is like smart enough to commit the crimes Vince McMahon committed.
Yeah, I would say that much.
Like, I think Vince McMahon is more aware of the evil he's doing. And that's worse, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Aristotelian virtues.
So yeah, Hulk Hogan's plan was, what if I beat Yokozuna, brother? What if I were champion again, dude?
What if you
then
beat
he got
Yoko
hit by that
Ono?
jet ski. He has to mention that jet ski story again, so you know that is what happened. He did not get punched in the face by Macho Man Randy Savage. And then he's talking about how he filmed Thunder in Paradise, but now that he's the executive producer, he can't just have fun. He has to generate a return on investment. That must be rough,
that's
man.
a pesky thing about...
Poor Hulk couldn't just hang out on someone's dime. He had to actually generate a profit. Gosh, that sucks, man.
Well, fortunately, you are the wrestling business, and it was going down because they didn't embrace Hulk. So now that they've embraced Hulk, to the moon.
No, he's in Thunder in Paradise now. So the wrestling business is sinking behind him. He got off the ship.
Oh, what the
because of
fuck is
steroid
Thunder in
trial.
Paradise?
That's the Baywatch ripoff that
Oh.
he was executive producer on. I think it ran for 1 or 2 seasons. And then
Oh,
he
it was
like,
a TV
I don't
show?
want this anymore. Yeah, it was a TV show.
Oh, wow.
And he was filming it down in Florida. This is when his wife was like, I want to live in California. And he's like, well, I'll live in Florida if you buy me my dream house. And he's like, well, I guess I had to buy her a dream house because she wanted to live in California and all our filming was in Florida.
Why don't you just let her
What
go?
else could I have done, brother?
You let her go. You're cheating on her anyway.
No, I never cheated. I cheated on her with my daughter's friend, but like...
Hulk, are you being honest or truthful?
There was this one time there was this naked woman out in minus 70 degree whether, but I
No
had
one
nothing
knows
to
how
do
she
with
got
that.
there.
There was
Probably
another
a
wrestler.
wrestler.
It's
Probably
really
probably
weird
a
that
wrestler.
it's really weird that I'm mentioning this. And there's this one time I was trying to hit on this girl. I found out she was like 14, and then her mom got involved, and that was a little weird, brother. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
that was a little weird, brother.
So he joins WCW, Ben.
Hooray.
And first he's got to talk about how Jesse Ventura was there, and he was stabbing him in the back, and he was being an asshole about Hulk Hogan, and he's like, look, Eric Bischoff, who hired him, by the way, look, Eric, Jesse Ventura is a piece of shit. I'm not coming in here if I'm getting stabbed in the back. He was like, look, Hulk, I'll take care of it. I'll fire him. And so they did. He's like, I got 2 solid years, and then I got 2 great years after that. I came in, I was a superstar champ, I was the greatest, and then I turned heel. I used all that negativity from the steroid trial to become a bad guy, brother. And then we formed the NWO, dude.
Yeah, it's a problematic t-shirt.
So his WCW is basically boiled down to an entire chapter on Dennis fucking Rodman, an entire chapter on Jay Leno. Then he talks about how the NWO was watered down by all these losers like Sting and Lex Luger and the Macho Man who didn't know what NWO cool was like. He doesn't mention Horace Hogan, his nephew, who is scuffed Stone Cold Steve Austin. He doesn't mention that guy. But those guys watered down the NWO. And then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they were bringing in all these guys, and they were politicking, and they sucked. And suddenly, everything sucked, Ben. Everything was awful after I brought 4 glorious years to WCW. And the company was circling the drain, and Eric Bischoff was drinking at home by himself. And I don't know why I'm mentioning this, because we're ostensibly supposed to be friends in real life to my dying day. And Bischoff was like, if it were your company, what would you do? And I didn't say, put the title on Hulkster. No, I said, put the title on Goldberg. He doesn't mention the fact that Hogan wanted to do this to impress Turner executives at the time who were watching that match live. And they drew a record house, and then Hogan could turn around and be like, that was me. That was the Hulkster, not Goldberg, brother. And that also he was going to be the guy who would beat Goldberg for the title. That was the plan. Put the title on Hulk is always, if it were your company, what would you put the title on Hulk, brother? He doesn't mention any of the controversial shit. What?
Has Hulk ever run a company?
No. He has run a few companies into the ground. He did have a level of power in total nonstop action wrestling.
That is going to help his presidential campaign.
Yeah, this is where he talks about the presidential campaign, Ben. He was going to retire and run for president. And he said that Turner did a poll of 5,000 people in Fulton County, Georgia, and 5,000 people in Orange County, California, and 5,000 people in Minnesota. That's 15,000 people, brother. And they asked the hypothetical question. If you had a choice between Bill Clinton, who couldn't run, Hulk Hogan, or Ross Perot, who would you vote for, dude? And Hogan won, brother.
You know, and I sit here in 2025.
He could have won in 2016, Ben.
Yeah, he might. Honestly, yeah.
I don't think he was winning in 2000.
No, we still had some hope. It wasn't all bad back then. It wasn't great. It's never been great. But it wasn't all bad. Now it's all bad.
Well, now he talks about Vince Russo, who came in. He was a writer from the WWF, and he hated Hulk Hogan for some reason. For some weird reason, he hated Hulk and wanted to get rid of him. And he talks about how, like, they were gonna put the title on Hulk, right? Not on Jeff Jarrett was the champion, but we're gonna put the title on Hulk. This is the only time Hogan mentions that he had creative control, which is super important. So he's like, we're putting the title on Hulk. Jeff Jarrett and Russo's like, fine, we're just gonna have Jeff Jarrett lay down for you. Fuck you.
Didn't
Hogan
we
was like, well,
also
fans won't like
already
that.
read a book on WCW?
Yeah, we did. So he pins Jeff Jarrett, and then Russo throws the title to him and calls him a bald piece of shit. And Hogan says maybe implies that he was a racist. And then
Maybe.
Hogan is going to sue Vince Russo. And he implies, he sues Vince Russo and he implies, like, I can get my money back, but I can't get my respect. He's implying that he won that lawsuit and that it wasn't dismissed twice. I'm not a Vince Russo apologist, Ben. But I think that if you worked with someone who could just decide that they have creative control and they don't have to do what you tell them to do, I would also want them to leave. Right?
I'm just wondering how he knew Hulk was a racist.
Well, Ben, there's an entire chapter where where Hulk says, I'm saying the record straight. He implied I was racist about Booker T. I'm not a racist.
Okay.
That aged really, really
I believe. I was going to say I believe he believes he's not racist, but he doesn't.
No, he said I'm
He
racist
said-
to a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he straight up admits he's a racist to at least a degree. It aged really well, Ben.
He was being honest, but was he being truthful?
I wasn't being a racist at that moment, is what I was saying.
He grew more racist over time. Oh, I really know what party you're running for.
So then he gets the surgery to fix his knees, and he talks this big story about how he does it, and his dad is dying on his deathbed, and his dad is like, "You got to go back and fix wrestling," and then he died. And so the Hulkster
Did Hulk Hogan immediately drop out after that?
Hulk Hogan then accepts a job for Vince McMahon, and he wrestles The Rock, and he's like, everything is coming up, Hulk. The best is yet to come. I'm going to ride this wave, brother. The end.
Well, you know where waves go. Right on the rocks. They crash famously.
So,
onto
do you
the
feel like
rocks.
you've learned a lot about the Hulkster?
I do feel like I've learned a lot about the Hulkster. I mean, I have questions I didn't have before. I kind of want to know whatever happened to that one woman that was mentioned. It may have died.
He doesn't even know who that is, probably.
He knows who that is. I don't know a lot about Hulk Hogan, but I do know he knows who that woman is. I don't know. I guess it's kind of crazy that no one ever just told him to fuck off. I mean, I guess there's something magic about him that all these egotistical people did feel like they needed to keep him around.
Because he made wrestling better for everyone, Ben. When he did well, the whole company did well. And then they got a payday too.
I mean,
brother.
But it seems like whatever I don't believe that Vince McMahon kept him around because they were friends.
Well, Vince McMahon said they were friends when he was giving that promo about how they did Hulk dirty. And Hulk Hogan thought they were friends, brother.
I don't think Vince McMahon is capable of friendship.
I agree with you, actually.
So
I think the closest thing to a friend is like a partner in crime who will do the crimes. Yeah.
I think if he didn't make him money, he would have cut him.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
So he must have made money.
Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan made a shitload of money.
Yeah, I mean, so there's something.
And he also taught Vince McMahon about merchandising, according to Hulk.
I don't believe that, but
but Hulk Hogan said it.
I think the thing is I guess what I've learned is that Hulk Hogan had a certain charisma.
Yeah.
He was able to play a character pretty well. And Unfortunately, he was just not great with money.
No, that was all
And
his wife. Oh, his wife
about
just kept spending all the money, brother.
okay, well, you could have stopped her.
No, because then what if she divorced me, dude?
What
Marriage
if?
is for life, brother.
In the eyes of the Lord, yeah. But yeah, I mean, so he's got a certain charisma. He just couldn't stop. Like he was so bad with money that like I just wrestlers have a shelf life, you know? You're eventually supposed to move on. It's kind of like the like seeing somebody who stays on Saturday Night Live way too long. Kenan Thompson. They just it's supposed to be for like a young hip crowd. It's supposed to be in wrestling case a very young crowd. I think it's like for
Hold
children.
on. I just got a great idea to make Saturday Night Live better.
We give
What
Hulk the
if
title.
Hulk Hogan gets the title? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah. No, I just feel like it's supposed to be for kids, and you know, like they're obviously going to gravitate towards people that don't look ancient. They're going to gravitate towards The Rock, or you know, I don't know who's popular in wrestling these days, if anyone.
John Cena's farewell tour, Ben.
Okay, John Cena. I know people like him.
But he got surgery when he got numb fingers like a bitch.
Yeah.
What a baby.
Yeah, I don't. He liked having hands too much, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so I guess that's what I learned is that he has certain charisma. He just kind of overstayed his welcome, and eventually, all the Terry stuff couldn't be separated from the Hulk stuff anymore, and tanked his reputation, endorsed Donald Trump, and then he died.
Brother. And of course, as always, we've got our $10 yacht tier plan patrons, dude. We've got Isekai Sensei Sama. From that time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster podcast, brother. Is Hulk Hogan an Isekai? And then we got Jamie, the gravy man. 28-inch pythons because he eats nothing but biscuits and gravy and then goes to work to get jacked, dude. John Bierce, a real author, just like Hulk Hogan. That is a factual statement. You are literary brothers in arms, and these arms are huge. And then we have Jacob Lansky Jack. He does whatever the fuck he wants because he trains, eats his vitamins, says his prayers, and believes in himself. And finally, what you gonna do when Shy with a Y runs wild on you on TikTok? What you gonna do when she beats your ass, brother?